Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal. Welcome back to another video. It's been a little bit since my last video. I've just been taking a little break here working on a new project, but welcome back to some more videos. Let's dive right in. Weight loss doesn't have to be miserable. Every now and then you'll see a really negative post on the subreddit. Somebody who's frustrated that their extreme measures aren't paying off or too hard to stick to. There are so many people here maintaining super restrictive diets, whether it's a fad diet or just a super low intake. They're struggling to stick to it, but they think there's no other way. I just wanted to chime in and say that weight loss doesn't have to suck. I've been on a weight loss journey for the past year, and it's been a pretty passive effort. All I did for the first few months is maintain a very slight deficit, putting me at 1900 calories a day. I lost a great deal of weight doing nothing but this. As time passed, I decided to take up lifting as a hobby, and it became an activity that I enjoyed greatly, and allowed me to bump up my intake to a maximum of 2.5, depending on what else I did that day, while still losing weight. At my peak, I was around 300 pounds. Today, I weigh 150, which has been maintained as I drop in body fat and increase in lean mass, giving me an overall leaner appearance as time passes. I'm not hungry. I'm eating all the foods I love. I'm eating socially. I'm not miserable. The activity is fun. Weight loss doesn't have to be miserable. Please, if you're reading this and you're struggling, do some research. Talk to some professionals. Figure out a system that you feel like you can maintain for life. This doesn't have to be as hard as you're making it for yourself. And please, please, please eat more than 1,000 calories a day. My methods have led to very slow progress, and that's okay, because I still got to where I wanted to be. All it took was patience and dedication. As far as active effort is involved, I don't feel like I ever really had a hard time with all this. It can be like that for you too. You don't have to do extreme things to lose weight. It's miserable for me mainly because of judgment and comments from family members whilst living at home. They comment on everything I make and it's exhausting. I mean, eating 1900 calories would be a dream. That's over my total daily energy expenditure, much less actually being in deficit. Being born a girl and a short one at that isn't great if you allow weight gain to happen. I don't want to bring too much negativity into it. It doesn't have to be the most miserable experience, but the truth is that the smaller the budget, the harder it is to create a meaningful deficit with ease. At some point, the best bang for your buck eventually switches from eat less calories to burn more calories. I've noticed this is a thing for really lean bodybuilders, who while getting in contest shape don't have a lot more room in their calorie budget to cut anymore, so what do? They increase activity. Sometimes they increase food with it, but they increase activity more. You'd be surprised at how many calories just walking an hour or two can burn. I feel like although it's for different reasons, short and smaller people can benefit from knowing this. It might totally be more bang for your buck to walk regularly, or something similar that is super easy cardio that you can do for long periods of time. I think change and feeling like you can't just eat what you want, that does suck, especially in the beginning. No matter how you put it, whether you were counting calories or restricting certain foods, or even had surgery, it does feel restrictive. I also think that some people, especially those who have underlying mental health issues or EDs, can also experience it as psychologically upsetting and triggering, and a battle on two fronts. I just started again, and it does feel like a drag. I have to actively stop myself from snacking, put everything out of sight, because my brain is searching for that dopamine fix. That being said, I do agree that you don't have to be hungry if you do it right. And I'd argue that if you want to do it for the long haul, it's necessary to find a diet that does not leave you hungry and feeling faint, because that's not a process you can keep up very long. I also think that when people say they don't like exercise, they might have a very specific idea of what that is. Soccer is nothing like swimming. It's nothing like a hike. It's nothing like ice skating, etc., etc. I also think that once you lose weight, moving feels more pleasurable again. That being said, there will be days where you just want to eat half a cake, and you're not going to, but you're going to want to, and it will suck, and it's okay to express that too. For me, it's my sugar addiction that makes me feel a bit defeated. I haven't had any except for fruit, and I physically feel great, and I'm starting to lose weight again, but I'm sad I can't eat all the things I want to. I was an avid baker, and I can't really do that anymore. I don't really understand moderation with sugar either. It's like an all or nothing thing for me. It's a true addiction, so I don't think this is something I'll ever get over. I understand struggling to abstain from sugars. If I have an Oreo, I'm clearing the package. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's because of that I just don't keep any of those sorts of snacks handy and pretend they don't exist when I'm doing groceries or stopping for something to eat in the middle of the workday. I really wish I had a better answer than pretend sweets don't exist, but that's literally the only thing that works for me. I don't feel sad that I can't have candy, so that helps a lot, but I'll turn down candy at every opportunity presented. If it's processed and sweet, I can have it on Halloween, but that's it. Candy really is a crime against humanity. It causes cavities and obesity. It's addictive, and it's everywhere. The key is being realistic, I think. Weight loss is slow, which is why even if you go super restrictive for a month, you'll be so miserable by the end of it, even if you lost 10 pounds. You will say, I have to do that X more times, and it took a whole month to lose that measly 10 pounds. F this, relapse. But if you cut that weight loss in half to 5 pounds a month, then suddenly it goes from feeling impossible to being a slight nuisance. Then it just takes patience, because it's as slower than it takes grass to grow. I'm thrilled for you, but for many of us, it's just not possible to be calorie deficient and not continuously hungry, not even a little bit. Personally, it took me 2 years to lose 70 pounds, and it was miserable every day. I'm maintaining now and still hungry all the time. The reward, of course, is amazing and totally worth it, but it sucks for many of us, and there's nothing that can be done about that. Weight loss is miserable. I think the mental game is majorly important in weight loss. If what you're doing is making you miserable, you're taking the wrong approach. It's either not sustainable long term, or you're doing more harm than good, because you have to look after your mental health as well as your physical health. I might get a little hungry and a little grouchy, and I might have bad days, but that's all temporary. I've been reading some of the comments, and I agree that it is not easy to start, but we have to understand that it is our brains telling you that. But after a while, you would find that it gets easier and actually enjoyable. I learned that you can take things one step at a time. Just be 1% better than you were yesterday. Soon you realize that part of your habit. You would then feel a strong desire to maintain your routine rather than change it. Go in with the correct mindset, and you'll find the process a little bit better. While this is true for you, so is an alternative scenario. You also don't gotta let it become a lifestyle for over a year. Weight loss doesn't need to be your new lifestyle. A lot of people gained a bit because of their changes to their routine, stress, the pandemic, etc., and don't need to totally reinvent their habits. Whatever approach you use, chances are you will need to learn to do some maintenance initially regardless. You can do hard things and restrict for shorter, more fixed amounts of time, and that's okay too. And plot twist, some people thrive on focus and are miserable. It's easier to maintain habits when you can see that they are concretely working. My point is just that it serves no one to act as though one approach is miserable and another isn't. I'm down about 30 pounds, and a lot of it just has been from minor changes that are actually sustainable. Large coffee and donut for breakfast every day became a Greek yogurt and medium coffee. Lunch entree plus snack plus soda became lunch plus 2 waters. Dinner, I switched to eating my vegetables first, and a lot of them, I don't end up eating as much meat and other sides. Snacks, I went from a glass of milk and 5 or 6 cookies to 1 cookie and a kitty cup of milk, if anything. I still cheat sometimes, but for the most part, I've got calories a ton without noticing I've got them a ton. I still eat a lot volume-wise, but just not as much of the bad stuff. And that brings us to the featured narwhal of the day. Half-year progress.